Hi, good morning. It is, I think it's almost 4 a.m. Yep, reaching 4 a.m. I just got back from my boyfriend, so I'm just gonna go right through. I'm not happy. I just read Rick's new bio, so ignoring all this, I forgot to write down. Going through it so many times because I'm changing it all up. The whole point of this is to avoid jail. Okay, it's to avoid jail in a relationship and to see if it's possible to hold down one job through quote unquote COVID-19, because it really is quote unquote COVID-19. And Black Lives Matter. In the job, it goes KFC, Foxconn, because that's the Michigan mistake that got caught, and then Dunkin' without. If I could explain what happened at Dunkin', what I ended up doing, it was almost like this one girl seriously had a problem with me. Her name is Danielle, and I don't understand it. I don't understand. She lets everybody else attack her, but like I didn't do anything of that sort. So KFC, Foxconn, Dunkin', then there's unemployment. Could have lasted to at Dunkin' all the way up until October, mid-October. Then there's unemployment to allow for divorce and come back home. And then there's Walmart. Walmart's the end result, unless I find the ability to get into like a Bush's or something. That's kind of like Market Basket out in Rhode Island and Massachusetts. So basically December 19th, everybody has read it through. December 19th, 2015, we're unpacking. I'm on the phone with creditors. I have my mom and I in the kitchen. We're cleaning up. We really don't start unpacking until noon, and I managed to get up at 6 o'clock. It's almost like there is this like sitting duck feeling, and it's almost like somebody has gone from being on the phone with CP right into that morning, and it's not me. So I just want to let you know it is like a sitting duck feeling. There is the urge to pick up the laptop. That's because of, like I said, when I'm walking back into this, I'm still a vampire. You guys have to acknowledge that. And this once done, being redone over and over again, just emphasizes it. So I'm still a vampire. So I still know that there's this urge for this one person to still gather money when she has told everybody on the phone she has paid off everything, which means that we're not paid off. So there's that pull for bad habits to continue. The problem is I can't have it because it impacts in the event that I end up in jail. So December 19, 2015, it's like wake up, hide the laptop, hide anything that could be a distraction, keep the phone on, keep it charged, run out to the liquor store, grab the daily 3 lottos because they're within the time frame to grab it ahead. So 76.93 is December 20th, 2015 for the evening. 33.69 is December 25th, 2015 for the evening. And 98.77 is for January 1st, 2016 for the evening. The winnings actually go to the CarMax. And I found the car. I actually found the car. It goes to the CarMax lease and term agreement, or the purchase. At a credit score at 560 with 263 it's the same budget price as me going to the bad dealership, which that dealership is connected to this little circle that goes on. I have to explain it like this because when I first explained it to you guys, you sided with this company only to find out that the company was not producing anything, and you invested all this money and you guys were crying over it, and it's just like, what do you want me to do? I foretold you that this wasn't a business, and then you went and did it anyways. That's why we kicked them out of Michigan. Plus, at the same time, we had the Panera lawsuit between the two companies, so it just made it more of a mess. So the key thing is to get me in a position to where it goes back onto the Batman Forever Dianetic series, which starts off with Batman Forever. We have the TikTok, which is everybody is sitting in the circus and the bomb starts. It's that TikTok, but the problem is that the bomb isn't detonated and destroyed. It's carried through the whole thing. So you can almost say like Bane's in the scene behind the curtains, and then there's still the circus, the ringmaster, if you will, which ends up being like the Harvey Dent. So it goes into Batman Forever all the way up until we get to Foxconn, and then it switches over to the first Dark Knight, and then it goes into the second Dark Knight once it's made once I take over. It goes into the second Dark Knight because she comes back home to Michigan, and I know because she sees the same therapist that I had seen when I was 19 before having come to you guys and having read after reading the letter that you sent to us based on the postage, and I think I did cover the postage. I said, please let me cover it. There's a whole bunch of arguing because I think I kept consistent throughout the whole thing, each and every single TikTok we went through. So, and I end up seeing that list on the table once my amygdala is retracted. What it is that I actually have a recording camera eye. And so whenever it gets retracted due to heavy stress, that's not considered normal pattern behavior. It's almost like the danger levels has reached the highest point, and then what ends up happening is it retracts. And the way it retracts is it goes like this and it pulls back. So if you keep doing the stress and keep implementing that there's danger, 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 not going into jail, forcing the person to think that, you keep pulling it, you can actually blow out this eye, which is what they were trying to do, because the last time I didn't stop it, I blew out this eye, and then they managed to twist my neck, and that was it. And I knew where I was at during that time, and it was the perfect murder. So yeah. And that was when we had AP Physics with AP Calculus, because we did base it on that. Now we can't base it on that. It's based on the murder that took place with Senator Lindsey Graham. So, fun. So December 19th comes into play. We're unpacking. It's noon. The cable guy comes over. My dad's making sarcastic comments. He's angry because he's got to move all the shit one more time. The furniture, the boxes, and it's Keith making sarcastic remarks, who's my ex-husband, and keeps making sarcastic remarks. It's upsetting my mother. My mother's still on the Selexia, and it's just keeping it going. Then it gets to the point where I leave to go to the Starbucks to go get the stuff that I needed to get. By grabbing stuff from the TikTok present future, meaning like stuff that I did during the training part of it, which is right now, because I also have to come back with no alcohol issues at all, meaning like it can't be caught drinking. Everything has to be in a styrofoam cup or in a Coke cup with Coca-Cola. It's chicken noodle soup, something basic, something simple, based on throw-out mistakes that my ex-husband did to lie to get me in jail, which is throwing out bread, purposely dropping stuff. Like we were at Zoop's, he purposely dropped the sodas. He was trying to lose weight, and I told him, you're not going to lose weight if you're going to sit there and do shit. So it kept getting worse and worse and worse. So those are the things that I'm able to capture, because those were the very first things that he did when he heard that we were all going to get this like 1 year of unemployment, misunderstanding that it was me because I got fucked over so bad by not getting paid. I had a paycheck and then it got taken away from me, and it was just like I wasn't even hired, and so they tried to do all this scheming and scamming, and it was bad. But because of what Lindsey Graham did, it now removes that, and that's where we have that stake in the ground of time. So it's never going to change. The only thing we can do is elongate it instead of keeping it in a circle with correct patterns. It's in every documented book that if the world continues to do correct, the better it gets, and the more in sync everything becomes, meaning like we'll be able to have the ability to have more food, gradually, not like in big chunks like I'm seeing. And so it's like, but that's like flatland higher. What we're trying to do is just establish just the grid, because everybody's going to start running around doing crazy stupid shit, and it's going to drive you nuts like it drove all of us nuts. So December 19th, still packing, still shredding. We get the shredder. I get the shredder. I end up going to the store. In my purchase, it's just simply 2 loaves of regular bread at generic price based off the WIC menu, which is women, infant, children. That's the card that they use, or it's called the EPBT card, which is like a mid-grade between Bridge and WIC. And you can buy a great value at like a generic brand, and then something that's like not a brand name, but something that's close to a brand name. So that is what I purchased. Like chicken noodle soup is part of it. So it's chicken noodle soup, 4 cans of it, and then the 2 loaves of bread, and then of course it's also the other grits, because we're gonna try to see if I can stash money in it versus me having to put it in my little beef jerky chew tins that I have, because I got it all like they start stacking up, so look like little hockey pucks. I don't want that. We're trying to avoid what took place this TikTok through and try to focus on this. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything. Okay? It doesn't change anything. All it does, it just makes it last longer. It makes it last longer. And the money holds out a little bit longer in the event that something serious happens. But I really think that I've narrowed it out to where everything ties into that. The car is one of them, the job at Mandeville, and then of course the moving constantly. So to nip the moving in the butt, it's actually stash up in order to get a place, or to hang tight at a place and just keep it just like a bill stash, so to speak. We're grabbing the application at KFC. It's December 20th as being like the latest I can do this, to grab the KFC application, because they go through a pre-COVID-19. They do a hire to fire. Basically what it is that they hire people for 2 weeks, test them out, and then they'll schedule them sporadically throughout the schedule. And it's just based on their needs and everything. So they already have their team. It's just who wants to have a certain nights off on a regular basis. Whereas McDonald's, if you walked into one of these McDonald's, they ain't doing anything at all. Their inventory is down to nothing. So it's just based on, what they feel like doing. And this is having worked at Speedway and seeing how the employees are reacting to like deliveries and things like that, customers building up a line only to find out they can't get served. And then of course having gotten into a McDonald's, it's not a good place to work. So that's what they're doing right now. So fast food is actually losing business and money, hiring people, because they may only have a certain amount of stuff in their inventory here in Michigan. So Michigan is under like, it's not quite what it seems to be if you were to work out of state in like one of the busiest states where there's tourism. There's a lot of people that go out for fast food because it's cheaper versus coming home and cooking, when really it's actually the opposite. If you take a minute to go shopping and look at things, that staples in the house actually build up over time. It really does. And this has happened to like start off from nothing. So the whole focus throughout the first 6 months is definitely KFC, July 7th, avoiding Mandeville and Sylvan, because those are the other two issues that arose during the first tick. And it came back again because we just feel the need to be attracted to this one senator, and it's just like, holy crap. I don't know why the fuck you want to be attached to that liar. July 7th is when the start date is, but they rally us all up in the last week of June. And there's the tennis tournament in May, June. And it's to keep me from feeling the need to compete in the male tournament, which, by the way, is a tough one, because even I'm trying to break that brick wall, and it's just like, only if I keep unpacking and keep shredding the textbooks, which, by the way, have to get done. Not like, well, we'll just do one and see. Now it has to get done because it yielded to no money, and I don't even know where it went. To be honest with you, I have no clue where it went. During May and June, because I told everybody what had happened, and y'all have letters from me. What had happened was that there was some sort of funk that took place where I couldn't do anything, so there has to be the phone calls, because they are to a point where it's just overwhelming, because then it dies out and then it builds up again. So I have narrowed it down that they are CP phone calls. May and June is the heaviest time, and then considering the fact that my ex-husband already started doing divorce and cheating affair plans in the 2 weeks of December, it carries through all the way up until May. And it's almost like the next Freud tornado comes in. So mind you, from December 19th to May, there's a series of Freud tornadoes attached to the moving and the divorce and the affair. So it's just one tornado after another. So to get through it, to me, like if you've seen the movie Jafar, like in, I think it's Aladdin and the King of Thieves, I think it's that one or the second one, Jafar spins and like he makes the tornado disappear. So that's basically what it is. If I do enough correct in order, I should be able to make it disappear, which I do all the way up until we get to January 15th. Now I'm forced to frickin' do Mandeville, and I don't even know how this happened. And I have been saying no, and then it becomes worse and worse because now the car issues come into play because I didn't take advantage of leaving for the holidays to go bring this car back using my ability to lie. I'm trying to avoid not to lie. I'm just, I could say, hey, look, went over to the holidays, made a decision, and that was it. Bring the car back where it's supposed to, and then come flying in versus coming in with the car, and hopefully and synchronized to having the CarMax car come in when I land and stuff. I could do that. I have enough money to where I'm holding tight for the money and then not paying the student loans and put that money towards CarMax. I haven't decided. I still have to think it through because it's $263 a month plus the car insurance. And the problem is that the lease ends in March. It ends in March. So I have these windows of opportunities to travel before the volume of calls pick up again. But the volumes of calls picks up again actually in December into January, and now it gets worse because the clothing companies are calling, and then we have Salem, Massachusetts calling to see whether or not they're psychic and stuff, and it's just like, oh my god. The worst thing I want to hear, big time, because my mother, she's on Selexia, and she's a Romulan, and she's still buying religious artifacts. She's not comprehending that it's a loop through. But there's something that took place with her when we were younger, so we're not going to get into that. She needs to stay on Selexia. Because me and my sister both looked at each other, and I think that's when we really understood that we were who we were. Mia confirmed it for my sister. She said it. I know I'm a stone cold bitch. And I said, I know I'm Evelyn, but that was crazy shit that we were just about to go through. So she was doing something, I swear to fucking God, it was just like craziness. That being said, the phone calls pick up at KFC with Charlie Baker. I think it's not Baker, it's just Charlie. We call him Charlie. He is like close to 6 foot. He's in high school. He needs a job because, his parents are telling me he's got to pay for everything and stuff. And then we have 3 other girls that start calling, and it's just like, you guys, it's going to come right back through. Why are you calling? And we're supposed to be a really prestigious team because we end up getting a really cool owner. Like, he makes money without having to do crazy stuff. So it's not like we're like a group of employees that need to be doing all this. We don't need to be doing all this because it impacts how the business trickles out. I mean, it shows dramatically. Like, within 6 months, it just dries out super fast. We don't even get any good business. It's like bowls after bowls. It's not like meals after meals. It's like KFC bowl, to-go cup, give me a drink, that's it. So it's done. So all the money just goes out the window. And I'm surprised that CP allows it to happen, because the last time a phone call like that happened when I was 19 at the hospital, they targeted that person, and it was like, holy fuck. They did, because it's just like, what the fuck, man. So KFC, Foxconn, Dunkin', and then all the way up till mid-October with Dunkin', if they just can fucking hold tight and just understand that it's just temporary until I can get back home. If I can get back home before Dunkin', that means that I can actually take the 2-week Florida vacation to recoup, get a lawyer, like a divorce lawyer, and then go from there, or wait it out until the divorce papers come back. Because to live in Michigan, and if I file and he's out east, because that's where he ends up going back to, it would only make sense for me to file first, clean divorce, no issue, and we don't have this whole mess of lies created. It's just a clean-cut divorce. To get back, though, it's impossible, because it's almost like there's a lot of lying that he makes and creates that it's almost like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like dragging shit back, and it's like shit that's not my shit. But even with all the unpacking that I did, each move, it was like worse and worse. So I don't know. I still can't figure out this tornado. I can't, other than nobody wants it to be like that. Sorry, it's my breakfast. Because that 6 months of unpacking, shredding, getting rid of the books. And the books are the one thing that creates the first fight. And not to mention my mom. My mom starts jabbing. My dad has already jabbed. And then, of course, the person that's helping us move in the furniture starts making jabs too. So it's like, holy shit. No seafood. No seafood. No seafood. And that becomes a problem because somebody is not happy with the fact that I'm not wanting a plate full of seafood. A lot of these menus that we had spent on should not even been menus we should have had to begin with, because we had no money to spend. So it's almost like he got hired to spend money in order to entertain versus